Hello and welcome into our downtown Phoenix studio. Here's what we have in store today for this episode. Today on Cronkite Sports Now, your March 10th updates from around the Cactus League, a young rising star in San Diego, and the ASU Sun Devils hope to cut down the nets this weekend. These stories and more coming your way on Cronkite Sports Now. Happy Tuesday, I'm Kirsten Corns, and today we'll be talking sports. Let's start off by throwing it out to Brandon Jensen, who's in Scottsdale with the Giants.
The Giants began the process of slimming down to their Major League roster over the weekend, reassigning 10 players to minor league camp and 7 to AAA Sacramento. Among the notable cuts were top pitching prospect Sean Jelly and outfielder Jamie Westbrook, both of whom turned heads early in the spring. With the cuts, the roster is down to 54 players with less than 2 weeks of spring training to get the roster down to 40. Now we're sending it over to Zach Galman, who's in surprise with the Royals.
With the MLB closing their access to the clubhouse due to the health and concern of their players and coaches and the coronavirus, Royals first baseman Ryan O'Hearn had this to say about it.
I don't know. I'm a believer that it is what it is. You know, I'm not gonna change my lifestyle or whatever. Obviously, you don't want to get sick. I think maybe wash my hands a few more times this spring, but yeah, I don't think it's been a huge concern for me.
It seems O'Hearn and the rest of the Royals are not too concerned about this, and it won't affect their everyday lives or how they'll carry themselves with their interaction with the fans. Now let's send it over to Lauren Colville, who's with the Rockies in Scottsdale.
There's movement with the Rockies starting lineup. Bud Black took some time this spring training to figure out who would be taking over the leadoff spot. In serious contention, David Dahl, a left-handed hitter who has been with the Rockies since 2016. He found his name at the top of the lineup card this spring training more frequently than others. Now we turn to Alberto Ramirez in Mesa with news on the A's.
The race for the second base position is starting to heat up as Sheldon Neuse has been sent down to AAA, making him the first player to lose out on the battle for that position, leaving 4 players left to battle for that spot, with those 4 players being Tony Kemp, Vimael Machin, Jorge Mateo, and Franklin Barreto. Manager Bob Melvin has stated that he will wait till the end of spring training before making a decision, making these last games important for those players to make an impression and make a name for themselves and try to get that spot. That was all for me here outside of Hohokam Stadium. Now over to CJ Chidas, who's in surprise with the Texas Rangers.
After getting hit in the face by a Julio Urias pitch in Sunday's matchup against the Dodgers, Rangers outfielder Willie Calhoun underwent surgery yesterday at St. Jude's Hospital and Medical Center in Phoenix. He had a plate inserted to stabilize a fractured jaw. Calhoun took to Twitter last night to thank fans and followers for the well wishes. He finished by saying that he can't wait to be back hitting homers soon. While there is no current timetable on how long Calhoun will be out, manager Chris Woodward is hopeful he'll be back sooner than expected.
He's in good spirits. You can tell he can't really move his face. I think it's frozen still, but hopefully he'll get out today. I know our players would love for him to come by the clubhouse when he's ready, and everybody would welcome him with open arms. So.
The Rangers head out to Glendale today to face the Chicago White Sox. First pitch for that one is set for 1:05. Now I'll send things back to Kirsten in studio.
Thank you, CJ. Now let's see where your Tuesday plans might take you. On this beautifully overcast day, we've got a handful of midday games for you. The second place Oakland A's will be taking on the Royals in Mesa. The D-backs will hope to get closer to an even record as they take on the Reds in Goodyear. And the Rangers and White Sox will battle for third place in the Cactus League today in Glendale with first pitch set for 1:05. The San Diego Padres first took notice of pitcher Luis Patino when he was just 17 years old. Now, 3 years later, Patino is a rising star in the Padres organization. Josh Schaefer is out in Peoria to find out how this prospect has developed.
San Diego Padres number 2 prospect Luis Patino was signed as an international free agent in 2016 after he impressed club scouts at a prospect showcase in the Dominican Republic. Since joining the organization, Patino has thrived.
I improve a lot, every single time when I have the opportunity for, throw program, bullpen, or something more for get better, always I do best in that exercise because, I need to improve more and more because I want to go to the big league. I need to have a good staff, good command, and good body, be healthy.
The Colombian right-hander was sitting between 83 and 85 miles per hour on his fastball in 2016, and in his 2 years after signing, he added 12 miles per hour to his velocity, according to MLB.com. He also put on 35 pounds in the weight room.
For pitcher, you need to have a good weight because you can have a 180 weight and throw 200 innings. You know, you need to have a good weight in your body for can throw a lot and never have an injury or something.
And now heading into another season of what is supposed to be a big year of growth and development for the now 20-year-old, Patino says that his biggest goal at spring training isn't simply just to impress. Instead, he wants to stay fit and he wants to continue learning about the game.
I think my first goal is stay healthy all year, can pitch all year, have injury or something, and get to a big leagues. You know, it's more like I enjoy the baseball. When the opportunities come, you know, be prepared.
And Patino has been prepared, and his first-year manager has taken notice.
He's thrown quite a few sides, a lot of live BPs, his conditioning in the weight room, what he's doing in the running program. And look, this wasn't thrown on him 2 weeks ago. Basically, the day that he got a call to the invite to camp, this was it. So I don't think there's been any surprise, and I think he's been well prepared and he's handled it well.
Now in his first spring training with the big league club, the young righty is also taking time to learn from the more experienced players in the organization, so that when his number is called, he'll be ready. In Peoria, Josh Schaefer, Cronkite News.
Although it's still unclear if Patino will make the Padres opening day roster, it is clear that he will be key in the organization's future. Now, as Major League Baseball starts their season, college basketball is wrapping up theirs. Now let's take a look at the Pac-12 tournament. The Sun Devils will sit back and watch the first round of the Pac-12 tournament play out tomorrow as they await their quarterfinal opponent set to play on Thursday at 8:30 p.m. They'll either seek revenge on Colorado or hope to secure a back-to-back win against Washington State. That does it for today's edition of Cronkite Sports Now. For Arizona sports stories from around the valley, visit the Cronkite Sports tab on arizonasports.com. And as always, for top Arizona news stories, head on over to our website at cronkitenews.azpbs.org. From all of us here in the studio, thank you so much for joining us today.